Hi, I'm Carolyn, and today I'm going to show you how to make puff pastry pinwheels that are filled with spinach, sun-dried tomatoes, and some crumbled feta. So to start, I have this is a package of frozen spinach that I've defrosted, and I've taken all the moisture out of it with some paper towels. It's really important that it's nice and dry when you use it. And this was previously chopped, so it's easier to work with. So we're just going to start by dumping this in the food processor. Next, I have some sun-dried tomatoes that have been chopped up. I'm going to add those. Some pepper. And a little bit of olive oil to help it blend well. And then we're going to pulse this together until it's combined, and it's going to form kind of a paste. All right, that looks pretty good. You can still squish it with your hand and it will hold its form, so that's kind of what you're looking for. The next step is we're going to roll out our puff pastry. All right, so now we're going to roll out our puff pastry, and I just buy it. You can make it, but that's your problem. Comes in 2 sheets, so we're going to use half a package. We're just going to use 1 sheet. I'm going to flour my surface. These come frozen. Make sure you thaw them out at room temperature for like an hour or so. So then they're folded. Just try not to rip it. It's a little bit tricky. So once we get the puff pastry open, we're just going to give it a little flour here and make sure it can move freely on your surface so it doesn't stick. Flour both sides. Flour your rolling pin. So what you're looking for here is to kind of cut the thickness in half. I'm not sure what that would measure out to be, but you want it to be on the thin side because puff pastry does exactly that. It puffs. So if you have it too thick, it's not going to make for very attractive looking pinwheels. Try to keep it square-ish, but we're going to wind up cutting the ends off anyway after we roll it up. All right, that looks about good. It's pretty thin. We're going to grab our spinach and tomato, sun-dried tomato paste, and we're going to try to evenly distribute it, and then we're going to spread it out. So start with a spoon, but in the end, what works better than your hands? So you can just kind of spread it. Try to make this pretty thin, because you're rolling it upon itself, so you don't want it to be super thick. And just make sure to leave space around the perimeter for your egg wash, because you're going to wind up brushing that on there so that your roll winds up sticking to itself so it doesn't come apart in the oven. So this looks pretty good. It's nice and thin. It's pretty even. And now we're going to take our feta that is crumbled, and we're just going to sprinkle this on evenly. You'll notice that I didn't add any salt to the spinach mixture because feta is a very salty cheese, and so our sun-dried tomatoes are very briny and salty, so you don't really need the salt. All right, so the feta looks pretty good. So now we're going to take our egg wash, which is, I mean, a lot of people make egg washes a different way. It doesn't really matter. This is an egg and like a tablespoon of water. So just brush your edges here lightly. You don't want it to stick it to the table or anything. And then you're going to roll it up. making sure that it's even. And then you have this nice kind of loaf that we are going to stick in the fridge so it sets up, so it gets firm, and then we're going to slice it up into pinwheels. All right, so we have this nice chilled, I guess you could call it a loaf, and we're going to cut it into pinwheels now. You're going to want to discard the ends because there's not really any filling in them. So just put these aside. And let the knife do its job. Don't press down or else you won't get nice looking pinwheels. So get a nice sharp knife. And these come out looking very festive. And if you wanted to, these are a great make-ahead. Do exactly what I'm doing now and then freeze the whole tray. And they would probably keep for a month or two. All right, I filled my tray here, so I'll probably slice these up a little later and then either bake them off or freeze them. So what I'm going to do now is put these into a 400-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. They're going to get nice and puffy and golden brown. So these just came out of the oven. They're nice and puffed up. You can see the little flecks of tomato in there. Look pretty festive. And they are really fast and delicious and make a great addition to any party.